September 9th, 2070X. That's a bit more than a week. The lighting has changed. Fun. No disc on the table here, it seems. I realized that maybe she took the disc out of the camera so they wouldn't have a record of her talking to Shreya. Case study report. September 3rd, 2070X. I am absolutely appalled at the Youth Training and Development Initiative's decision to perform major amputation on trainee CO458. Improvement in synchronization rates are irrelevant. This technology was only ever intended for use in adults, save for rare exceptions. The relatively static state of adult body allows for easier constructions of prosthetics, and only a mentally immature individual can reasonably be expected to endure the inevitable side effects of cybernetic implantation. Let me be clear. Rejection symptoms are not a risk, they are an inevitability. For all the advancements in biotech over the past few decades, they have not been enough to stop the body from revolting against artificial neurons when they are stitched into its muscles, or from realizing that the hunk of polyethylene and silicon in its skull is not part of its gray matter. Medication can suppress the body's immune response and stave off seizures, but it is a patch, not a long-term solution. Despite these facts, CO458 was approved for a full transfemoral amputation and implant preparation procedure. I cannot conceive of a scenario that justifies the callous removal of two completely healthy limbs from a young child. The fact remains that CO458's quality of life has been significantly impacted for no reason beyond the YTDI's goals. If this is the level to which the YTDI is allowed to conduct itself, then it is clear, to me, that STOP has become little better than the organizations it once worked to quash. There is no theoretical threat or future crime that justifies what I have witnessed. If this is what my research is now supporting, then I would rather have never pursued it in the first place. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. September 3rd, 2070X. They took his legs. As if stripping him of his name wasn't enough, they ripped his legs off his body. Why? I can't think of any good reason for this. Pavel, sunlight that he is, said that they planned to give him better ones. He even tried to prove it, in spite of the pain. And the worst part is, it's not over. He hasn't graduated yet. The last time I tried to visit him, he'd been taken back in for further processing. I had to find that from Shreya, of all people. The guards barely seemed to care. Asking about his absence was like asking about the garbage being taken out a day earlier. Someone else did the work, so they didn't need to know. He said all of this while looking at me with that expression they always wore on duty. One of malaise, of superiority, of contempt. Funny how they pressed the kids to be smilingly obedient, while the adults looked like bored children. When I entered their room, I noticed a distinct coldness in the air. Shreya looked awful. Had she been eating properly? She seems so frail. If she was taken to the operating table now, her chances of survival? I have to leave Stop. And the YTDI has to go with me. I don't want this, any of this, to be my legacy. As if. What's an academic supposed to do against an intergovernmental organization with unlimited resources and an ever-growing supply of cybernetic muscle? Maybe I can follow Ira's example. This case report will be my indictment of Stop. My voice should still carry enough importance to damn it on my way out the door. But if I try to make an impact with my exit instead of leaving quietly, what'll happen next? If I say anything about those cages the kids were kept in, the courts will bury me, and I'll have to hope that Stop doesn't single me out extrajudicially. And if they do, I'll have to kiss my future academic opportunities goodbye. So what? They can't expect me to keep quiet after everything I've seen. That one conversation with Angie still makes my blood boil. We were observing a physical education class. The kids were told to run laps to the point of exhaustion. And knowing the YTDI, they probably were forced to run past that point for research purposes. While the teachers were tending to them, Angie leaned over and whispered to me, "Look at how strong they're growing. Healthy and smart and tough as nails. Isn't it incredible?" Then, she looked at the back ranks and soured. "But there are still stragglers. Gotta iron out all those kinks eventually." After she said that, she turned back to me. "You know, if that squadron were enrolled in public school, some PSHE teacher would be calling them by now. None of them would ever know how much they could achieve. Just a little more pressure. With just one more push from someone who knows how much they can take." Back in school, I knew this kid. Born with a hole in their heart. Maybe some large ASD. They had it rough, but they persevered. Didn't pity themselves. Had pride. But the teachers insisted on coddling them, waiting on them hand and foot, carrying their books, giving them extra exam time, letting them skip phys ed. The adults around them let their condition define their life. By the time we graduated, I barely recognized them. Ended up more ghost than person. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't let them fail themselves like that. Does she think we're still friends? I've been speaking to her less and less. By now, she's basically talking to herself, and I hate seeing her inner ugliness rear its head. As soon as Pavel's healthy enough to graduate, I'll make my move. But I'm not leaving Stop without him. D. Well, if you can save one of them at least. I say that because I'm realizing that there's no mention of Shreya in the first game. Now, meta speaking, it's probably because Shreya wasn't even a character in the universe until this game came out, but there's only one of two scenarios that happens here. Scenario 1, Shreya graduates and gets processed. So she's working with Stop now, or is still a lab rat. Or scenario 2, she doesn't make it. Either during the jailbreak or from her operation, but goodness gracious. I'm hoping for the former, though it's not that much better. It's not really a life. I've got my 2 weeks notice lined up with Pavel's estimated graduation. The moment he's out of the system, I'm taking him and leaving. Smartest thing you've said in a while. Do you have any concerns? It's possible that they won't let him graduate. Promises for services rendered don't mean much to people who mutilate children. And if my case study is half as explosive as I'm hoping it would be, it's not the kind of thing that Stop will let circulate for long. There are plenty of people out there willing to listen to you. Not after I slander an internationally beloved crime-fighting organization. We don't have friends in PR or allies in the media. It'd be easy to paint me as another disgruntled former employee, disappointed with a lack of direction in our career and looking for a book deal. Sorry, Daedra. I wish I could tell you that won't happen. But even if things do go to shit on your end, allow me to give you a silver lining. When Pavel gets out, and he will, you can bring him here.
Oh! The safe house!
Iris. Once upon a time, it was a garage. Then it was an unrealized research lab with some living quarters. Now it's yours. It's no five-star hotel, but it's not too bad this time of year. There's even a river nearby.
I don't know what to say. You're just giving that to me?
What did you expect? I'm a wealthy woman with very few hobbies. I would have ended up renting it out if I even remembered it was there. Much better for you two to get some use out of it.
Thank you, Iris. I really mean it. I already owe you so much.
Hey, the place isn't that big.
I'll keep that in mind.
You'd better. I don't want to hear any complaints about it being cramped down the line. Stay safe, Deirdre.
I'll try. Well, if the first game's events are canon and true, she'll be safe for the duration of this game, at least. Well, I think we're getting close to the end here. We've had our inciting incident, so climax has to be coming up. So let's keep going until the end, no matter what. September 9th. September 9th, 2070X.
Whoa, D.
Hey, Angie. Kind of a ironic name, you know. Your name having connotation for being angelic, all things considered.
There's a fire drill going on?
What? Oh, no, I was just looking for Pavel. I can't find him anywhere. Pavel? Who's... Oh. CO458. Well, that's okay. I'm certain he's around somewhere. I mean, it's very safe here. It's not like he could have just wandered off. Yeah, you cut off his legs! Of course not. And yes, it is very safe here. I'm... What? I'm not convinced that any of this is necessary. You're talking about processing. For starters. The post-op is never going to look pretty. You know that. You've seen it thousands of times. On soldiers, volunteers, adults. You didn't see the place we pulled these kids out of. Filthy, overcrowded, underfunded. This facility's very clean and very well funded. That doesn't make it right. Whatever justifications are, I'm not sure I appreciate your tone. We've been nothing but transparent with you from the beginning. We've given you complete access to our building, our resources, even our subjects. I had to fight for you, you know? Then why wasn't I notified about Pavel's processing? Maybe you weren't on the mailing list. There are no conspiracies here, D. You, of all people, had to have known exactly what the initiative's goals are. Angie, Look, I'm not in the mood to argue medical ethics with you in the goddamn hallway. CO458's in recovery. He's fine. What?
This isn't some back alley surgeon for hire operation. We know what we're doing. Do you?
Pavel? Are you?
Oh God. Your head. Your hair. Your eye. It's...
Dr. Deidre?
Pavel, wait. I've got you. Just stay right there. Has anybody been here to take care of you?
Oh, well. I think so. Shreya's been here at night a few times. I haven't said much, though. I pretend to be asleep because I think she might be scared of me now.
She's probably worried about you. I'll go and talk to her, okay?
Okay. I really don't want to upset her.
You don't have to worry about upsetting anyone, okay? You haven't done anything wrong. How are you feeling?
I don't know. Tired and weird.
It's all right.
I'm scared. My graduation is soon and I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. What else they'll do to me?
Just close your eyes for me, okay? Pavel? He's asleep. They're going to tear him apart. Rearrange him again and again. And not just him. All the other trainees here. All the other children yet to come. Over and over and over. And for what? This is my fault. My research laid the foundation for this. My reputation funded this. I let this happen. I did this. There has to be something I can do. No, I have to do something. Something more than writing words on a goddamn page. That's it. I'll break him out. Prevent him from graduating. And burn this program down to the ground as we leave. At this point, this isn't even a call for justice. It's just plain cause and effect. September 16, 2070X. Everything's in boxes. Case study report. September 9th, 2070X. Met with CO458 today. Engaged in normal conversation and activities with the subject. CO458 became tired shortly in the session, so the visit was cut short after about an hour. CO458's temperature and blood pressure appeared to be higher than normal levels during the visit, recommending an increase in immunosuppressant dosage. Recovery otherwise appears to be on pace with expected timeline. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. September 9th, 2070X. I'm going to destroy my life's work. They'll have to update the textbooks. A small footnote at the bottom of the page or in the back of the index. Dr. Destrange went on to commit multiple terrorist acts. We in no way, shape, or form approve of her blah, blah, blah. Fine by me. So long as they leave my name in. A curious kid might search for that crazy lady's name on the internet. Find a case report written by her and give it a read. Better a pariah who speaks the truth than a diligent researcher who can't stand to look at it. As I walk through the YTDI's halls, my stomach drops whenever I pass the spot cell rig. Though the guards just stand around and glower at the kids, they're still combat-ready professionals. More than a match for little old me. If they ever catch on to my plans, they could drop me before I even enter the building. Funny. I haven't feared others being able to hear my thoughts since I was in college. I remember feeling guilty, learning about thermal runaway in lithium-ion batteries. When I realized how easily this knowledge could be reapplied, I was convinced that there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was right back then. Compared to my usual work, making bombs is dead simple. I spent most of my time planning how I'd space out the fertilizer purchases. Looking back on it, smuggling Pavel's snacks made for a fine trial run. I have surefire proof that the guards won't check on me. So, why am I still so anxious? If it's not my legacy, And it's not the process itself. Am I afraid of what'll happen to Pavel after all this? I can house him, thanks to Iris. I have money. I can cook. But there's still so much I don't know about Pavel. How will I care for his medical needs? How will I educate him? Will freeing him doom him to a life in hiding? And Shreya, and the other children, and every other poor soul that's been victimized by this program. Where will they go once I'm gone? Even if I could house them all, they wouldn't be free to leave. Not with Stop on their tail. I'd have just moved them from a spacious cell to a cramped one. A cramped one next to a river. Still. I'd never forgive myself if I let Pavel behind. My research led to him getting hurt. I won't let that happen again. I've done all the planning I can. For now, I think a eulogy to a life of service is in order. To my colleagues, the good ones. I hope you've been working from home. To the rest, you've got no right to complain about what comes next. Holy cow! I was wondering why the explosion was part of the content warning. Now I understand. Okay. And to stop, this is war. Plant any more seeds, and I'll salt the earth. D. Does Iris know about all this? Do you think I'm doing the right thing? I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to get Pavel out.
Aren't you doing precisely that?
Yes. But there's a growing list of asterisks. I can't save the other children. The numbers just don't work.
And how does that make you feel?
Like garbage. Where will they go? They know nothing about the real world.
Kids are tougher than you think.
Not tougher than Stop.
You'd be surprised. They'll adapt.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
I doubt anything could right now.
What about confession? I wanted all this. The recognition, the respect, the budgets, the pay. You know, before I came to Stop, I took 5 internships in one summer. Barely got my foot out the door before I added them to my CV and never looked back.
And? We all do. That's the game we play.
I like playing that game. I was good at it. And there's a sizable, cowardly portion of me that doesn't want to give it up.
And do you worry about Dr. Tan and the rest?
Despite myself, yes.
That's just the kind of person you are. In case you don't get the chance to reconnect for a while. Let me say this. Every system falls apart eventually. It's entropy. Forest fires are natural and healthy. Stop is no exception. If people are horrified by your findings and your methods, that's for the best. They'll quit. They'll leave in droves. And you'll have gotten them out of a dark hole.
And if I hurt people?
Then you'll just have to make up for it.
And the kids?
They'll be strong, cushy or clean. They'll be lives that they choose for themselves.
Again, that's not reassuring.
I know. Very little is right now. You have a lot to answer for, Dee. You're already a history maker. From here on, I'm sure you'll be making history in a good way. Try to remember that when you eat breakfast with Pavel.
Is this goodbye?
It has to be. But you'll be in my home. I'll be there in some way. In fact, the sheets might still smell like me.
Iris. Gross.
Apologies. Couldn't help myself. But you don't need me anymore. You'll do good. You always have.
Thank you.
Take care now. You're always my star pupil, Deidre. I trust you remember me as your mentor and friend. Hopefully, when you're retired and peacefully birdwatching.
Goodbye.
You can ring my bell, ring my bell.